Good evening and welcome to the Formula Racing League Assetto Corsa Competizione. Round 8 of the Taco Tuesday series takes us to the beach of Zandvoort, which is just outside the Dutch capital of Amsterdam. We are here for the penultimate round of the championship. It could mathematically decide the Drivers' Championship if Nico Busov gets a strong result today and his championship rival Wolf Freeman was to flounder. 15 minutes of qualifying followed by a 60-minute race that'll be coming up, so make sure you stay tuned to all the action that is going on throughout this evening. Busov will be hoping to wrap up the title here tonight, but currently 22 drivers in the server. Hopefully there'll be a few more before the evening is over, or before the race starts. In terms of what happened last time out at Alton Park, it was pretty much a duel in Cheshire between Busov and Freeman. So they fought it out for victory, and in the end Busov came out on top to win for the 4th time in the last 5 races to edge himself closer. He now has a 16-point lead over his arch rival. Now, if he was to win the championship today, he would need to essentially win and maybe get fast up as well. If he was to get a maximum score, he would need Will Freeman to achieve 25 points less. So essentially getting 16 or less. Now 16 points would see you finish 13th or lower with the point system as it is. I mean, it is possible, but given both of their consistency throughout the campaign, bearing in mind the dropped points, each driver lose their worst score towards the championship, hence why it's a 16-point lead for Busov. For Freeman, the worst result he has had this campaign is 13th, and the worst result that Busov has had has been 4th. So you have to say Busov is very much firm favourite to take this championship. Also got a debutant joining tonight in the 109 Ferrari. On the driver list, so I can pick up on that particular name. I'm sure you can see the surname on your screen just to find out a little bit more about him. Is Euro Makinen. Juho Makinen, as I should pronounce it. In the Ferrari 296 GT3, very much making his debut and is setting the pace so far magnificently. Could he be a thorn in the championship protagonist's side because of this evening's action? Go on board with Sean Cole for a lap. He's in the Porsche this evening, so we'll see how he gets on here. So coming into, well, he's just actually done the lap, so we may as well come away from him. Sorry about that, my apologies. Got the 79 coming through. Who's that that's coming through? It's Chris Gedwin. Let's go with Chris, why not? So we'll go for a lap around this racetrack of Zandvoort. Apologies for that, we've come away from Chris. We'll have to go to someone else who's just about to start a lap. Joel Leher is coming through right now. Struggling to come away from Sean Cole actually, which is really annoying. Have to just stay on board instead of going on drive. So we'll go with Steve Cowanner, who begins a lap now. So this is probably going to be a first gear, I would have thought, in these GT3 cars. Or it might be a second gear corner, thinking of it. Either way, he is through. Now, in case you're wondering, they don't quite have the banked curves on this Zandvoort track like we do now, but with the pending announcement of Assetto Corsa 2 that we understand is set to be least next year. In terms of when during the course of 2024, we don't quite know for certain as of yet. Well, towards turn 8. It's in the apex. The same for 9. It's a nice flowing circuit in Zandvoort as well, thinking of it. Caruana comes through turn 10 in these wet conditions. 9 degrees air temperature, 9 degrees track temperature. Around this 4.2 kilometre circuit, either 4.2 or 4.3 kilometre Zandvoort track. First opened in 1948. 4.2 kilometre circuit with the configuration as it is now. It's a lap of Caruana going round Zandvoort, so thank you to him for taking us for a tour. The last time I saw, we have 24 drivers checking in. Hopefully they'll all turn up this evening. It's Juho Mäkinen leading the way. Will Freeman's in P7, just ahead of Busov, who is 8th. Coming towards the end of the practice session. Other than Busov and Freeman, the other drivers to have won a race this campaign. Mario Roseni won the opening round in Mount Panorama. That has been that. So the last 6 races have been won by either Nico Busov or Will Freeman. Morgan Grace is mathematically still in the hunt, although he's 68 points off the top. He's already had a non-finish to his name this season, so he can still get a maximum score of 82 and take the title, but the problem he's got is that Busov's worst result has been 4th place, so I think it could well be actually impossible for Busov to be caught by Grace, so it's going to be either Nico Busov or Will Freeman that takes the title in Taco Tuesday in Season 11. As far as the Manufacturers' Championship is concerned, it's been a total domination of Lamborghini. 455 points. 95 clear of Ferrari. They only accept the best 2 results from each team. Lamborghini are very much firm favourites to win it, unless they absolutely a disaster in the last 2 rounds. I think it's unlikely for them to be caught. They can mathematically clinch it today if they essentially outscore Ferrari and Porsche. Qualifying is underway as the track approaches darkness. We've got 22 drivers in the lobby right now. Michael Kleiber is the first driver out on track. Track is damp, the rain is still spitting, in fact it's still quite pouring down a lot. Let us know who your money is on for pole position. To Ben Milden for getting in touch as well. Hello to you, sir. Make sure you like and subscribe, and feel free to check out all the championships that the Formula Racing League has to offer. It's not just the Taco Tuesday series that they do. see drivers beginning to complete some laps, but they're on their outlets right now. Kleibo is coming around to begin to run right about now. It's one of the shorter circuits for the drivers on this particular game cycle. It's released in 2018. There have been a lot of DLC packs being released with tracks, cars, other bits and pieces in the last 5 years. Formula Racing League has enjoyed a lot of what they've been doing involving Assetto Corsa Competizione within the last 3 years. Flyboa coming through turn number 7, sorry. This is turn 8. Now the fastest time as Kleibo runs wide, he thankfully keeps the car on the circuit. He may as well carry on and complete the lap. Fastest time we saw in practice was 1:39.3, which is what Juho Mäkinen had posted. I don't know if it'll be quicker or slower considering the conditions that we have now. Whether we will see some dry running during the race. All 22 drivers are on circuit right now. Flybury, who made that mistake at turn 9, is out of the last turn, which is the Ari Lyondike corner. And this lap time is a 1:40.4, but Ed Sterling is able to beat that by the narrowest of margins. Joel Leher coming through behind. That was the 137 he was stuck behind? Couldn't quite tell, but he was provisionally on pole until Nico Busov took that away with a 1:39.9. Got Godefroy coming through in the 147 Ferrari. Good enough to go onto the front row. There's plenty of time. The lap times to come down. Will Freeman's first lap wasn't very good. I think he might have exceeded track limits on his latest run, or on his first run, so he'll have to go again. Drivers are posted lap times now, including Juho Mäkinen with a 1:39.2 compared to what he did before. He's actually quicker by a tenth. Josh Clayton tuning in as well. Not sure if he's exactly racing tonight. I don't think he is. But if he isn't, I hope to see him back for the season finale in Indianapolis. Will Freeman, who's yet to get a time on the board. Only 6 drivers have yet to get a time on the board now. Busov is second. Farglov Papizel up to 3rd place there, ahead of Godefroy. So he's done a very good first run. I'm sure that the track will evolve by the second, lap by lap by lap. Freeman coming around the last corner. It's going to be the first representative time in this session from him. We'll have a look to see. And Freeman goes up to 3rd place with an identical lap time to what Bas Brinkhoff has done. But more importantly for Freeman, he's ahead of Busov. Brinkhoff with a brilliant lap time there, which leaves only Stuart Hutchison, Mauro Arsenio and Chris Gedman to get times on the board. Chris coming through. This is Stuart Hutchison, sorry, my apologies. Goes up to 19th position, 2.8 seconds off the pace. Here is Mauro Arsenio, race winner in Mount Panorama at the beginning of the season. Hasn't been able to keep up the form in subsequent rounds like Nico Busov and Will Freeman have done. He's looking to end his season on a high. Around the last corner now, can the Portuguese decent time on the board with 8.5 minutes to go. And his lap time is good enough for P9 behind Chris Faster. Skevman also coming through to get his first time on the board. And at least he goes in front of Cameron Makowski, but there's a lot of time still to be found. And Juho Mäkinen's got his time into the 1 minute 38 now. Improving all the time. Now Busov is track somewhere, I believe, in the number 95 Lamborghini. And Freeman is coming through. Does not go up the order. Busov's down to 6th now. Still Mäkinen at the top of the timing pages in his first appearance in Taco Tuesday. Ilias Mihulka, 41 Lamborghini, hoping to improve on 20th position. And he goes up to 15th place with a radically improved lap time. Who's down in 21st place. Not go up the order, unfortunately. Mara Beganson, who struggled last week after being involved in some contact at the beginning. Pits. Here is Ed Sterling, who's in 14th position. He's had a decent last couple of races, hoping to build on that here. The number 20 Mercedes AMG. Sterling coming through the I Lyondike corner. Curbs was the line. There's no improvement on this occasion. Where's Busov? Because he has just stopped on circuit, but Freeman is coming to complete another lap. Is this an improvement on before? It is an improvement, and it's good enough to go up into 2nd position. Will Freeman on the front row next to Mäkinen. Mikael Kleiboer as well. Kleiboer not improving his lap time. Melvin Crows is on circuit. This is his home race. Too much to celebrate in this campaign. Steve Caruana's having a good session so far by his standards in the number 713 Ferrari. He's in 10th place. 6 Ferraris in the top 10. Proving to me that Zandvoort is a good track for this particular car. Arsenio coming through. Turns 11 and 12. Which is the Hans Ernst box. Out of the last corner he comes. This lap time that he's about to produce is good enough for 6th place. Busov down to 7th in the Lamborghini. Busov at the moment is on track. I'm not sure if he's on a fast lap time. He's got time to get another lap in. See who is completing a lap time. Ed Sterling, who's in 16th, comes through over the line. And he does not go up the order this time around. Will Freeman is hoping to improve on what he has done, but he's heading for the pits for a last set of tyres for one last run. Number 13 of Bas Brinkhoff. Brilliant session from him so far on home turf. Can he go up the order? Not from 3rd place, unfortunately. Busov about to begin another lap. Cars coming out of the pits there that should stay out of the way, not parking on the apex. 34 coming through over the line. That will be Farquhar for Bizzle, is in 12th place. 109 coming through. Jack Prentice is in 19th position. Jansen down to 11th place. Ben Milden's up to 17th. Session so far from him. Busov coming through. trying to find time all they can in the remaining minutes. It could effectively come down to the last man over the line if the conditions continue to improve. 3 minutes remaining. Busov is on a lap. Will Freeman's in the pits as we speak. He's probably waiting until the last moment to get out there, get round, over the line in time before the checker flag falls. That may be what is going through his mind. Busov, his championship rival, is in P7. Needs of an improvement. Last corner he comes. Is this good enough to see him go up the order? It's not. No improvement there from Busov. Time for a couple more laps. Here's Melvin Kroes. He goes up to 4th. Excellent improvement from Kroes. Now, who is going to be heading over the line next? We've got Farkle for Bizzle going over the line. He doesn't improve. Ben Milden going over the line. He doesn't improve either. 444 going over the line. That is Sean Cole, who's got up into 9th place. 79 of Chris Gedman. Just trying to find some more lap time. Doesn't on this occasion. Mäkinen is in the pits at the moment. It's unlikely he'll head out on circuit, so his session is effectively done. He doesn't think he needs to do another run. Kleiboer is hoping for an improvement on 5th place. He's less than a 10th behind 4th place. Kroes, what is this effort? It's not enough to see him go up the order. Well, Freeman is also in the pit, so he's not going to be heading out on track. Busov is hoping to improve on 8th place. Approaching the last minute of qualifying. It's still Mäkinen, Freeman, Brinkoff and Kroes in the top 4. Busov in 8th. Through the last turn. Wide in the curves, running wide, that won't help. Especially if he's going to do another run. He goes up to 2nd. He's on the front row, is Busov. Excellent time, but Godefroy has done an even better one to put himself onto the front row. So Freeman down to 5th place. Ben Milden crossing over the line. He goes into the pits. What about Melvin Kroes is coming through. He'll get another lap in. Will the Dutchman. No improvement on his time. 79 coming through. That is Chris Gedman. He'll get another lap in. His latest time is not an improvement. He'll carry on his way and go for one more effort. Jack Prentice is coming through. The checker flag is out now. So these are going to be the last times. Prentice goes up to 15th. 41 Maholka going up to 9th. Brilliant time. Faster is in the pits. Got the 174 coming through. That is Kemal Makovsky. And I'm not sure if he did improve his time. He might have done, but he doesn't go up any positions. 99 of Mauro Arsenio. 8th position. One of the last drivers to take the checkered flag. To the pit straight now. Arsenio, who's in P8, goes up to 6th. So he pushes Kroes and Kleiboer down a position each. Godefroy coming over the line. And he doesn't improve his time. Busov's in the pits. We're just looking to see who else is going to be trying to go for an improvement. Joel Lahert. Joel Lahert in the 320 Ferrari. Pushing as hard as he can to break into the top 10. Doesn't do it there. And Kroes goes over the line. He doesn't improve either. 34 out on track, which is Farklov Abyssal goes into the pits, and Chris Gedman is doing his best to get his fastest time of the session, but he's also pitting. At the end of qualifying then, it is a new face on pole position, his first appearance in Taco Tuesday, that is Juho Mäkinen. who takes pole position by a whopping 0.6 of a second. Jeffrey Godefroy, who has made a radical improvement on what he has done in recent races. He's in second, ahead of Nico Busov, the title favourite, in third place, and a Bus Brinkhoff, who will join him on the second row. We've got Will Freeman in fifth. He needs a strong race today to keep his championship hopes alive, with Mauro Arsenio in sixth position. Melvin Kroes and Michael Kleiboer are seventh and eighth, with Mercedes Mahulka and Sean Cole in ninth and 10th. Chris Foster and Joel here on row 6, ahead of Steve Caruana and Farquhar Bizzle. Jack Prentice and Michael Dybel, I think that's how you pronounce it, or Matthias Dybel. I'll have to look it up in a moment. They're on row 8. Ed Sterling and Ben Milden are on the 9th row, followed by Cameron Mikowski and Mauro Begansin. Stuart Hutchison and Chris Gedman are the last drivers on the grid. And it's Matthias Dybel. My apologies, just to confirm that is his first name, but he is in 16th position. Drivers are preparing for the start. There'll be a formation lap and then a rolling start. Formation lap will be underway in a few minutes' time, so I'm going to grab myself a drink and I'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. We are raring to go for the start of this race. The formation lap is about to begin with Juho Mäkinen on his Taco Tuesday debut on pole, as we are ready for the formation lap now. We should start to see the drivers pulling away. Start for Mäkinen. No points for pole though. Hope to replicate that performance into the race win. The field away on the formation lap. So let's run down on the grid. Juho Mäkinen on pole with Jeffrey Godefroy alongside Nico Busov and Bas Brinkhoff on row 2, with Will Freeman on Mauro Arsenio next behind. Melvin Kroes and Michael Kleiboer on row 4, followed by Arkadiusz Mahoka and Sean Cole. Chris Faster and Joel Leher are on row 6, followed by Steve Caruana and Farclough Papizel. Jack Prentice and Matthias Dybel on the 8th row of the grid. Ed Sterling and Ben Milden are next, with Kemal Mikoski and Murray Begansin on the 10th row. And at the back we have Stuart Hutchison and Chris Gedwin. So just the 22 drivers for this evening. Not sure where everyone else is, whether they are just spending time with their families at Christmas shopping in preparation for Christmas that is coming up. Someone has had a spin on the formation that I wouldn't have thought they've done. See if someone has made an error somewhere. It doesn't like they have. Everyone is still going, not thinking about starting the race from the pit lane. There is a mandatory stop involved in this, where you have to change tyres. Refueling is not mandatory, so we could see some drivers going through the race without refueling. Some will decide to short fuel and come in for fuel when they do pits in for tyres. Mäkinen in the 109 Ferrari, looking to get off to the best of starts. Godefroy in need of a good result after another disappointing showing last week at Alton Park. This is the 8th out of 9 round of the season. 8th round out of 9. The last round being at Indianapolis in a week's time. And that wraps up Taco Tuesday for 2023 within the FRL. All year long. We have a new winner of Juho Mäkinen. Brilliant way for him to start life in Taco Tuesday in the FRL, most certainly. As they come round the Ari Lyondike corner. And when the green flag is waved by the marshal on the pit straight, that is when we can go racing. It's an hour long. We should be done by around about 10 PM Greenwich Mean Time. Ferraris are looking to pull away. Can Busov take the title today? It's possible, so he'll do the best he can. We wait for the green flag, and we are underway here in Zandvoort. As Mäkinen didn't get off to the best of starts, and Busov is pulling alongside, and he's got in front of both Mäkinen and Godefroy. So Busov getting off to a cracking start, takes the lead at Tartan Corner in Zandvoort at the start. Great overtaking there, quick getaway. Mäkinen was caught napping a little bit. Busov took advantage on the inside, nearly hitting the pit wall on the entry, and he got off to the greatest of starts. He could have got off to a better start there, could Busov. He takes the lead ahead of Juho Mäkinen. There's Jeffrey Godefroy third. In fourth is Brinkhoff as they come through the first sector of the lap. There doesn't appear to be any incident at the moment as they come through the first sector. And I think Mauro Arsenio had a spin at the start. And I think we lost another driver as well. Don't know who has been kicked from the server or left the server. We'll find out as the race goes on. Pit window is open, so you can take your mandatory pit stop at any time you like. As we can see Godefroy going for a move on Mäkinen into turn 10 and couldn't quite get through. Has to hold back in third place. Will Freeman didn't get off to a good start, unfortunately. He's in 6th position behind Melvin Kroes. Make matter worse for Freeman, his championship rival is at the head of the pack. Now if Busov was to take victory today, he would go on to 279 points. Should he get the fastest lap, he'll go on to 280. He would need to be at least 41 points clear over his championship rival to take the title today. Although, well, Freeman's best result, just see an overtake right at the back there. I don't know if someone's heading for the pit lane, but it looks like Joel Lejo has been involved in some contact at the start. Arsenio is also in. So both of them have been in the wars, and they are in need of some instant surgery on those cars. Just trying to see who is actually the one that left the server. I wonder, it might have been, was it Jack Prentice who we lost? I think it might have been Jack Prentice who we lost at the beginning. So Prentice's race is already finished by the looks of things. Leija and Arsenio in the pits after contact. Just trying to see what actually happened at the start, because I wonder if there may have been contacts or something. No, Prentice had already left before turn 1, and he was kicked from the server, so his race has been compromised. Leija and Arsenio have done their stops round about now, I would have thought. Arsenio managed to get his done at a quicker rate of knots than Leija, so at least he goes up a position. Leija hasn't left his box yet. For some time, it's quite a lengthy repair job for his crew. And now we are seeing Freeman, who decides that he's not going to wait around. He's going to get his mandatory pit stop done now to try and complete an undercut over his rivals to get to the head of the pack. He needs to win this race as Freeman. Leija has left his box now. A lap down on the field. Too much work to do on a track that is not the easiest to overtake on. Godfrey holds the fastest up of the race. Busov is determined to get that point as well. So for Busov to take the title today, he would need to win and ideally get fastest up. Should he do that, then Freeman needs to finish in the top 12 to mathematically keep the championship fight going. Busov doing a superlative job so far. Freeman rejoins in 19th. We've got the 6, 7, 8 that is in the pits now. I think that's Jack Prentice who disconnected. He's already down nearly 3 laps on the leaders. Just be hoping to get to the end and use this session as some form of test session for him to learn more about the car. Busov in the lead then, but Mäkinen is looking to get it back. Busov under threat. Mäkinen and Godfrey looking to give him a good run for his money. Get him work for this championship. Busov, who has won 4 of the last 5 races in Taco Tuesday in the Pro category. A lot of races in his Taco Tuesday career. He's yet to win the championship, as far as I know. Mäkinen is determined to take the lead back. Freeman's got some clear track ahead of him, so he'll use that to good effect and get some fast lap times in. Made the strategy work in Watkins Glen to take victory. The drives of his career. He's going to need another race like that to have any form of chance in the last race in Indianapolis if he's going to snatch the title from Busov's nose. Towards the end of lap 4. Still all to play for in terms of the battle for the race win. Kidis Maholka with the fastest up of the race. The track is damp right now. It was greasy for a moment, but is damp again. In terms of what time the actual race is on the game itself, it's 6:12 AM. So we're not going to have a situation where it's going to become darkness later on. In actual fact, it's quite the opposite. Busov leads, Mäkinen second, it's Godefroy, Brinkhoff, Kroos and Mahulka. Kroos, you can see at the background, thinking about a move on Brinkhoff, but he can't get through on this occasion. Sean Kull, he's in 7th place in the Porsche ahead of Chris Faster. Then we've got Kleiboer and Makoski fighting over 9th spot. And we are seeing further back there is Ben Milden. He's in 14th place. Ed Sterling has not had the best of races so far. Or the best of starts to this. There is Will Freeman in the number 8 Lamborghini with a lot of work to do. Don't want to take too much life out of the tyres that he is running. He's going to do the best he can to close in. Jack Prentice has rejoined the race, albeit 3 laps down, at least on the leaders. Go on board with Mäkinen, who get the lead back. Is he thinking about a move on track, or is he thinking more about the pit stops? Towards the penultimate turn of the circuit, riding the curbs. Through the last corner, touches the curb as he got the power down. Crosses over the line. It's a complete lap 5. Just needs to watch for Godefroy. He thinks about a move into Tarzan corner. Can't quite do it. Will Freeman now has the fastest up of the race. Don't know what time he has done that lap. We'll find out and see if it has actually come up on the screen. It doesn't actually show us what the time is, but we do know for certain he's got the fastest up. So Freeman looking to make his way back through the field as Ben Milden comes in at the end of lap 5 for his mandatory stop. So essentially get some track position like what Will Freeman has. Short pit lane in Zandvoort. Shortest of the season. Go on board with Godefroy, who's in 3rd place. Through the 10th corner of the circuit. Leaders are coming towards the chicane, the Hans Ernst corner. Freeman is ahead of Milden, who has rejoined the race in 19th position, ahead of Arsenio. I think what Will Freeman is looking to try and do is just, whilst looking after his tyres, he wants to try and close in on all those that haven't pitted yet. It's 28 seconds behind Bergantin, who is in a battle with Ed Sterling. It's Godefroy looking for a move into turn 1. Saw it coming and keeps hold of the place. We are 10 minutes into this one, a 6th of the way through. In terms of how many laps we're going to have here, it looks probable we're going to have something like 36 at most. Rain is coming down here in Zandvoort. Air temperature 9 degrees, track temperature 9 degrees. Dutch Grand Prix. Hosted racing for Formula 1 again in 2021 and has done since. One of the 7 events to host a Formula 1 race in Formula 1's inaugural season in 1950. So a number of hiatuses from the calendar. 1985, which was the last time they raced in Zandvoort, did Formula 1 before it returned in 2021. Niki Lauda took the 25th and final win of his career. Freeman, who is going to be coming around to the first sector in a minute. Around about 26 seconds behind Beganson, about 26.5 seconds. And we are seeing Busov taking a different line. Almost looked like he was going in the pits there. I don't know if he was trying to break the toe of the cars behind, but we can see Godefroy thinking about a move on Mäkinen, and he thought about going for it, but Mäkinen is able to hold him off again. Kroos is ahead of Brinkhoff now, for your information. He's up into 4th position. Got Sean Cole in P7. Freeman still holding the fastest up of the race so far. See how much time he's made up on Beganzi, because he was right about 26.5 seconds behind. He's now 25.5, so he's gained a second on him in the 2nd sector alone. Pushing as hard as he can. Make up the arrears. Of course, if the leaders start fighting with each other, that might give Freeman the opportunity to complete an undercut, but the leaders are going to be on fresher tyres when they come in. Busov not taking the best of lines through turn 9. That may give Mäkinen a little bit of an opportunity to have a sniff at going for the lead. And we've got a yellow flag there for a moment. Not sure what that was for. It's gone away again anyway. It might have been the 75 that had a spin or something like that. There is Beganson, who behind Sterling. He was some way behind him. In fact, Sterling caught the curb there, and he doesn't appear to be handling the car as smoothly as he'd like to do. Here's Mäkinen in P2 ahead of Godefroy, who thinks about an overtake as they go onto the pit straight again. Slipstream once more. Now, does Godefroy go for the move into turn 1? The answer is no. Mäkinen runs too deep though, and Godefroy may be able to pull alongside as they come out of Tarsen corner. Godefroy is still not able to make a move. Mäkinen is able to resist, and he thinks about closing in on Busov, who doesn't take the best of lines through 2 and 3. And Mäkinen thinks that he has an opportunity to take back the lead again. He's looking to take a different line as best he can to what Busov is doing. Busov is beginning to struggle on his tyres by the looks of things. Now, we saw in Snetterton that some drivers went on the dry compound compared to those that are on the wet, and from what Craig Law was saying to me in the commentary position at the time, is that neither compound was the ideal tyre to be on. That made it very challenging for all the drivers. Sterling and Beganson are in the pits for their mandatory stops, so Will Freeman will go ahead of them. Leaders are coming through turns 11 and 12. Out of the last corner they come. Are we going to maybe see any pit lane activity in any of those three? The answer is no. I think Sterling and Beganson have been in the wars with each other, and they picked up damage, hence why they've been in the pits for longer than expected. Busov ahead of Mäkinen, going through turn 3. Out they come once more. Will Freeman's 18 seconds, or 18.5 seconds behind Chris Gedman. He's hoping to close down the gap. We know Freeman's a much quicker driver than Gedman. Not that I'm being disrespectful towards Chris, but evidently Freeman is a much quicker driver than he is. Busov, Mäkinen, Godefroy, your top 3 at the moment. Kroos just a couple of seconds behind. You just saw him in the background in the 23 Ferrari. Freeman's able to get the gap down to 17.3, so he's able to take over a second out of Gedman's gap over him. 6, 7, 8 of Jack Prentice in the pits for his mandatory stop. I've seen a move from Godefroy, goes to the outside of Mäkinen. Mäkinen runs him out wide. Godefroy is able to stay on the track. Just going to allow Kroos to close in a little. Back in the gap between Gedman and Freeman. Freeman comes over the second sector, it's 14.7. Wonder how long the leaders will remain out there before they do actually pit in. Sometimes you can be in the pits for 30 seconds. Sometimes be in the pits for 6 to 7 seconds if you're going all the way towards the end before you do actually pit in before the checker flag. Freeman now 14.1 seconds behind Gedman. Godefroy's dropped back from Mäkinen, so Rose is able to close in a little. We're just seeing Godefroy let Kroos go, so I wonder if Godefroy's picked up an issue after riding the curbs or something. I would imagine he's taken too much life out of those tyres. Yeah, you can tell by the way he's squirming around that he needs a set of tyres. So Godefroy comes in at the end of lap 11. 19 minutes into this race, it's quite early still. You want to go into at least half race distance before you come in. But you can see Mäkinen looking to move in front of Busov. And one important battle to look out for actually is that Godefroy pitting now, is Freeman able to complete an undercut on him? That's the next question. We can see Freeman's going through turn 12. He's got 2 more corners to get through. We've got the 713 going for a spin. That is Steve Caruana. Touches the barrier, but he's able to stay out of the way of the pack. So he's trying to get back onto the circuit, and he does so safely. It's Freeman. Godefroy hasn't left his box yet, and Freeman has done him. He's ahead of Godefroy. Here's Freeman. That's one driver down from his target. Godefroy's been in there for some time. He's leaving the box now. Done his stop. He's been in there for longer than he should have been. I think Arsenio may go in front of him unless Godefroy can get up to speed. And he's got a 30-second stop-and-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Godefroy already in the wars once more this season. By his standards, it just hasn't been good enough. He's just hoping for this season to end now, in all honesty. Still another round to go. That is next week. Back to the top two. Busov and Mäkinen. Kroos another 3 seconds back. Freeman, how far is he behind Chris Gedman now? Because he's been closing him down bit by bit, and he's 7 seconds behind him, so he's definitely closing him down all the time. It's Clive Bower, who's I think has just been overtaken by Sean Cull, who's ahead of him now. Sean Cull in 6th place in the 444 Porsche. One driver who's kept his car out of trouble so far is Kamil Mikowski. But a difficult season again, as Dybel is the driver who's behind him. Godefroy's hopes of a podium finish have been dashed And he'll need to come in to get his 30-second stop-and-go penalty done and out of the way. He may decide to stay out there for a couple more laps with the track position that he's got. This has ruined his race once more. It's not the first time this season that he has been caught speeding in the pit lane. Saw it at Suzuka earlier in the campaign. Yasin Makinen is just trying to get out of the turbulent air of Busov before he slots back in behind as they approach turn 1. 0.9 seconds between Gedman and Freeman. And closing down even more. He'll probably get it under 3 seconds by the time get to sector 2. 2.6. Seconds the margin between the top two, but you don't need the gap to tell you how far they are apart from each other. Smahalka's another 4 seconds behind Kroos, ahead of Brinkhoff. Now we are seeing a battle between Kleiboer and Kuhl for 6th place again. Kleiboer very close to running into Sean Kuhl as Chris Gedman comes into the pits for his own stop. That releases Will Freeman, who can go after Stuart Hutchinson, who's 16 seconds up the road. And Godefroy stayed out there for one more lap, so he has to come in at the end of the end of this lap, otherwise he will be black flagged. Want to go back to the top two. Well, in fact, we'll stay with this battle because this is actually more. Oh, that's Kuhl! He's been hit by Kleiboer. He's hit the wall, and Sean Kuhl will go into the pits at the end of this lap with damage. Kleiboer was too close behind, and he sent Sean Kuhl into the barrier. The Kuhl's hopes of a top 10 finish have been dashed by the damage to his car, and he will not be very happy with Kleiboer there. Freeman, he'll go up another position best he can. It stands with the positions as they are. We know that there's still plenty of drivers yet to make a stop, but if it was to stay as it is, Busov will be crowned champion today. So Freeman has to get his skates on here now and dig deep. Out of turn 3. Freeman heading down the banking. See, in 13th position now. Got to fight in the pits for his stop and go penalty. Actually, Sean Kuhl isn't too far behind. I'm not sure if the repair job had been done. Can't be going any quicker. He is doing. Brinkhoff is in the pits in the number 13 Lamborghini. We'll see how long this pit stop takes. In fact, well, we saw for a moment what the gaps were, but we'll go back to Brinkhoff, who stops in the box now as Godefroy completes his stop and go. So I would say we clocked it around about 34.07. So we're looking around about a 30-second pit stop. Will Freeman will be coming round shortly. Cameron McCossie also coming into the pits. Brinkhoff will want to get out in front of Freeman, but I think that's rather unlikely. He's been in the box for 24 seconds. Leaves the box. Definitely not now. leaves the box. Be in front of Sean Cole. Gets on the power. But Cole is back in the pits with the damage. He's really suffering with that after the contact with Dybel. What a shame for Cole. Luck has not been on his side this season. This man ahead of Freeman is Steve Caruana, who's 6.7 seconds up the road. Don't want to get stuck behind him. Godefroy's stop and go has dropped into 21st behind Joel Leher. I think he may well be in front of him already. He is in fact already in front of him, so at least he's gained a position as the consequence. Into 20th position he goes. Faster is in the pits now. So that's another position that Freeman's going to gain. As they cross over the line once more. It was 4.8 between Corona and Freeman. The gap is now 3.7. Sean Cole comes out of the pits. Freeman will not want to get held up by him. And Sean Cole stays out of the way, no problem. Foster has done his stop now. Will rejoin the circuit. What about the leaders? Because they are still close together. Are any of them going to be pitting in at the end of this lap? I think if Mackinnon's going to take the lead, he needs to maybe perform an undercut on Busov. And that's what he's going to try and do. Mackinnon into the pits then, from second place. And needs to slow down to the 50 km/h speed limit, otherwise it'll be a 30-second stop and go penalty by what Godefroy had picked up. Now, can Freeman get in front of him? He's got to get in front of the Finn to have any chance of winning this race. He's coming through turn 10. He's coming up behind Steve Caruana in a moment. It's 1.5 seconds behind him. Gets up behind him in a moment. Fizzle is also coming in. Mackinnon has not left the box yet as Freeman goes through turns 13 and 14 now. Now, is he going to get in front of Steve Caruana? In fact, Caruana is coming into the pit, so Freeman needing to worry, but Mackinnon has done his stop. And he's been penalised. Disaster there for the Finn. 30-second stop and go penalty. Did look like he may have gone over the limit at pit entry, but all that hard work has come undone. Second driver to be penalised, and that's going to make Nico Busov life even easier. Freeman is behind Mackinnon on the track, but he will go in front of him. Such a shame. Stuart Hudson and Steve Caruana in the pits, leaving only the top 5 yet to make their stops. I wonder if Nico Busov is going to respond to this, or whether they think, no, I'm going to stay out there now. I don't need to worry about Godefroy or Mackinnon anymore. Busov just needs to focus on maintaining a healthy championship lead. Okay, this Mihalka is in the pits, so that's another driver that Freeman needs to get through, but needs to stop sliding around coming out of the corners. That's going to take too much life out of the tyres if he continues doing that. Dybel also coming in from 5th position. Freeman is trying to get through on Mackinnon. He's suffering with grip at the moment. It's the disadvantage with pitting so early on. Bull is trying to unlap himself from him as Mäkinen stays out there for the time being. I think this is probably a bit of a raging period for Mäkinen because he knows he made a costly mistake and he's going to have to make up for lost time by staying out there for a couple of laps to make up as much ground as possible. Dybel and Mihalka are going... Well, that's Mihalka there, who's in a battle with what looks like Bas Brinkhoff. Is in front of Mihalka, and I think that battle is going to go right all the way to the checkered flag. This could be a possible battle for the final podium spot later on. Kroes and Kleiber still yet to pit. Godefroy's up to P17 now, and we've lost a driver from this race. And I'm just trying to work out who that may be. Should be a driver that's towards the back of the field rather than the front. And to our understanding, it's go through. It's not Ben Milden, it's not Mauro Arsenio. Find out later on, but either way, Kleiber is into the pits from third position. Mäkinen stays out there for now, but he will need to come in to service stopping. In fact, Freeman has made a mistake somewhere and he's behind Sean Cole on the track. So I think he's had a moment and Sean Cole was able to get through. Will Freeman, as far as his chances of finishing second in this race, have taken a slight dent. He decided to let Sean Cole go because he knows he's been in the pits. He's on fresher tyres than what he is on. I think Freeman is focusing more on trying to get second place from this race. There is Mäkinen. Pushing on. We're looking at Busov, who is staying out for yet another lap. Kroes is also staying out for another lap. Freeman is dropping back all the time because Mäkinen is really pulling out all the stops. He's on fresher tyres after all. It's Hutchinson and Milden fighting over 13th position into turn 1. It's Godefroy up the inside there, and that was Caruana he got through. And that's another position going in the way of the Belgian. Not for lost time. And Mäkinen now has the fastest up of the race as he comes in to serve stop and go penalty. Where will this feed him back out? He'll be outside the top 10 once he rejoins. It's been such a long penalty. Freeman goes through into P3. He's got Bas Brinkhoff and Achilles Mihalka closing him down, so Freeman is very much going to be struggling on his tyres. He's been on them for over half an hour. Temperature and the track temperature is the same as what it was earlier on when we were mentioning it. 9 degrees. On lap 22, Mäkinen has done his stop and go penalty. He's behind Dybel, he's behind Pavizl, he's behind Arsenio. He's in 12th position now. Melvin Kroes pits in from second. As we see Will Freeman come out of turn 10, has Kroes done enough to keep hold of second place? My guess is going to be yes. But we'll wait and see. Freeman needs to be getting into second place here. I think Kroes is going to have done enough here towards the end of the pit exit. So once he's exit his box, he'll be already at the pit exit. Now the last turn comes. Freeman. Rose has left his box now. Freeman is coming down in full throttle and he's ahead of him. And so is Brinkoff, and so is Mihalka, and so is Kleiboer. So Kroos' gamble of staying out longer has not paid off. Now this is a tense fight for second place between now and the checkered flag. So we've got Freeman, Brinkoff, Mihalka, Kleiboer and Kroos. A 6-car battle, or a 5-car battle I should say. Busov was run about 5 seconds behind Busov when he pitted in. He's ran about a couple of seconds off Freeman ahead. So Busov is now in. This could be a decisive moment in this race and in the championship. Stops in his box at around about 22.15 I'm clocking it at. So he wants to aim for a 30-second pit stop, no more than that. So he should be out by the time we get to 21.45. So we'll just wait to see, does he get out before 21.45? Really should be going to the battle between Freeman, Brinkoff, Mihalka, Kleiboer and Kroos. Busov has not left the box yet. And that's around about 33 seconds he's just done. But we have seen a battle for second place as Freeman is coming through. Busov is exiting the pit lane now. And there is Brinkoff going for a move up the inside of Will Freeman into Tartan corner. He's got through to second place. Excellent overtake from Brinkoff, but has he gone in too deep because Freeman is fighting back on the exit. But Brinkoff has done enough, so he is through into second place. Freeman down to third position. Busov is able to stay in the lead, but only just. And Freeman's tyres will start to fall away now, because he's got Mihalka looking to get through too. Up the hill they come, and down the hill they go. Freeman cannot afford to lose any more positions here. And now we'll see an overtake. Oh, that's Kleiboer! And Mihalka making contact! And Mihalka goes for a spin! Unfortunate there. And he's lost time. He rejoins in front of Chris Faster, but he will not be very happy with that. Will Arcadius. And that will give Freeman some breathing space. And Kroos is now ahead of Kleiboer. Leher is in the pits once more. Probably damaged once again. Don't know for certain. Now Kroos and Kleiboer are going to battle. Freeman is watching the slipstream effect. He's really struggling down that straight. And Kroos has gained so much time. Round the outside goes Kroos, and Freeman lets him go for a moment, but Kroos has gone in too deep, and Kleiboer is able to get back through again. Is Freeman struggling with his tyres? He must be suffering there. Is the Frenchman. Because he's squirming around, he's not going at the speed he should be going. And we want to see the rear wing angle as we watch Kleiboer and Kroos close in once more. Yeah, you can see he's all over the place, is Freeman, to keep hold of the place. And Bas Brinkoff is right behind Busov in the battle for the lead. And we'll go to the battle for third place once more, because Freeman is under threat from Kleiboer, who looks to go for the move into turn 9. Kleiboer up the inside, and Freeman is able to hold him up for the time being, but is Kleiboer able to outbrake him into turn 10? He looks to the outside once more. It's the Dutchman, and he's got through ahead of the Lamborghini, so Kleiboer is up to third position. Freeman down to fourth place, and Kroos is also looking to get through in the Ferrari up the inside into turn 11. He's not able to pull it off, but to make contact as Kleiboer ride the curve there. He rode the curve as he went through into turn 11, and he's through into 4th position. Freeman is absolutely struggling on his old set of tyres, and he is dropping back like a fly right now. And Breakoff is looking to the inside of Busov on the pit straight, going into Tarzan corner, and I think there's going to be a change of lead. Breakoff up the inside, Busov doesn't fight it as much, and Breakoff takes the lead in Zandvoort in Taco Tuesday. An incredible last lap or so. So Breakoff into the lead is the first victory in Taco Tuesday coming his way. Busov didn't get the best of exits coming out of turn 3 there. He'll be thinking more about the championship at this point. Freeman is in 5th place right now. As it stands with Busov second, he'll be getting 38 championship points. Freeman will be getting 32. The gap will be 22 points going into the last race in Indianapolis in 7 days' time. But Freeman is all over the place on his old set. Mäkinen is through on Arsenio into 11th position. Pulling away from him quite rapidly, thinking of it. On that 25. Busov not really fighting right now. Kleiboer feels second place is in the offing here. He will be under investigation though for the contact with Arkadiusz Michalka at turn 9. Michalka's now only 1.3 behind Freeman. And Ben Milden comes into the pits. That'll be his second stop of the race, probably for another set of tyres. Freeman cannot afford to come into the pits for another set of tyres. It's just got to go to the end now. And Michalka looking for a move. He thought about it around the outside, then try and do a switchback. Kleiboer is now only a second behind Busov. He fancies second place at the moment. Busov hasn't been on his second set of tyres for very long either. I don't know whether he's just taking it very easy or whether he's genuinely struggling. Maybe he's on the wrong tyres, you know, in comparison to how some of those are on track. I think he may be on the wrong tyres as Busov. We saw it in Snetterton where some of the drivers weren't going as quick as those who were on a different compound. Now, we are watching the battle for 5th place because Freeman is under threat from Michalka as they come through turn number 8. And Freeman running way too deep into 9. And Michalka is not able to get alongside as he pushes Freeman into a mistake. Freeman going a little bit too deep, and Michalka is alongside now, and Faster is also fancying his chances. Michalka just needs to outbrake Freeman, but I think Freeman's going to outbrake himself into turn 11. He does so, he slides, and Michalka makes contact with the Frenchman, and he doesn't go in front. Had he got in front, he probably would have been penalised after. And now this is allowing Makoski and Dybel to close in. Will Freeman's championship hopes are disintegrating here. And Kleiboer is through ahead of Busov for your information. So Kleiboer through into second place. Melvin Kroos is behind Busov. And Busov could well be falling out of the podium places here. But Freeman is also rapidly chopping back because he's falling behind Michalka, who's got through ahead of him into Tarzan. And Faster is also fancying a go into turn 3. He's not able to get through. Makoski, who's having the race of his life so far, is in P8, but it could be even better in a moment. Now we will go back to the battle for 3rd position because Busov is under threat from Kroos now. So they come out of turn number 9. And we are seeing some action further up front. That's not involving the leaders, actually, thinking of it. Kleiboer is just getting through on some back markers, I think. That was Chris Gedwin who was just getting through. And Freeman is really, really under attack here as Faster looks to the inside. I don't think Freeman has got any form of defence here. And it looks like Dybell's looking to get through on McCoskey at the same time. And Faster doesn't actually go in front, and McCoskey is able to get alongside and go through. McCoskey through ahead of Faster after Faster's attempt to get through on Freeman had backfired, and Dybell is also taking advantage. Faster losing 2 places in the space of a few corners. Now, is McCoskey able to get in front of Freeman? See, Pavissel in the background will be closing on this in a moment. And Freeman is really falling back now as Kroos gets through on Busov into 3rd place. We didn't see the overtake, but we knew it was coming for a bit. Melvin Kroos up to 3rd position then. Busov off the podium places. His worst result of the season has been 4th, and that was at the opening rounds in Mount Panorama. Will Freeman is still in 6th place, but for how long? Milden has been in the pits for some time as well, so it could well be his race done. But we can see McCoskey getting through on the inside of Will Freeman. Will they get through without contact this time? Thankfully they did. McCoskey up the inside of the Frenchman, and he should be through now into 6th place. But Freeman is trying to fight back, trying to take a tight line so he doesn't run in too deep. But McCoskey has got the move done. He's through. 6th position goes in the way of McCoskey, but watch out for Dybell, who's trying to get through on that pink Lamborghini, and he's gone through into 7th place, and Faster gets through simultaneously. Freeman is really, really struggling on his tyres. He's got no form of defence whatsoever, and is falling back down the pack. Pavissel will be closing in on him in a moment too. And we are looking at the leaders because Brinkoff and Kleiboer are now fighting over the race leads. We wouldn't have been saying this at the start. So we've had Mäkinen coming in for his stop and go, Busov and Freeman struggling on their tyres. And we wouldn't have thought Brinkoff and Kleiboer would be fighting for the lead. They've done all their stops. But now this is a genuine battle for the race win. Only once all season have we had a race winner other than Nico Busov and Will Freeman taking the checkered flag first, and that was in the opening rounds where Mauro Senio came out on top convincingly. Got 10 minutes remaining, so in terms of the amount of laps we're going to have left, I think we're going to have something like 6 or 7 laps. It'll be 7 at most. And Freeman is under attack from Pavissel now. And Freeman is all over the place. He's just continuing to struggle on the tyres that he is on. Busov is in 4th position. Freeman just cannot keep his car. Oh, he's struggling to keep his car on the track. Go to Brazil, will ride on board with the man from Czech Republic as the two come through. Should get into the slipstream here. Freeman is not able to defend this, and Pavissel will go through and up another position. Or does he? Freeman's able to hold enough for now, but Pavissel is still there. And we'll want to go to the battle for the lead because it's really intensifying. Brinkoff is still ahead of Kleiboer. Kleiboer looks to the inside, and Kleiboer goes through. Fantastic overtake from the home hero. What a remarkable overtake. I'm not sure if he is actually the home hero, you know. Is Kleiboer just looking through See whether he is actually Dutch, thinking of it. But he's got through anyway. He is the home hero. And Kleiber has taken the lead, so another change of lead in this magnificent race in Zandvoort. And Verbissel is through on Freeman. So Freeman's down to 10th place. The next driver behind Freeman will be Juho Mäkinen, who came in for that stop and go. Mäkinen's only 6 seconds behind. Kleiber into the lead, but remember he'll have this, I think there'll be an investigation over him for the contact with Arkadiusz Michalka. Michalka could have been leading this race had it not been for that. So there could be another twist to the tail at the end of this one. Michalka's only 2.5 seconds behind Busov at the end of the last lap. And he's coming out in a rate of knots. We've had a spin, and it's the 99 of Mauro Senio. It's been in the barrier. Just waiting for an opportunity to get back onto the circuit. And he's actually coming into the pits, so he's back in the pits via the pause menu. I think that's his race over. Arsenio is out of the race. And Mäkinen has got through on Freeman because Freeman has had an off. You can see he's really struggling. His car has taken a battering somewhere. It's not operating as well as it should be. The car is reluctant to turn into the corners. I think he may need to come into the pits. And that will pretty much spell the end of his title hopes. Busov can breathe a sigh of relief. He's got Ilias Michalka closing him down, but he won't need to worry. He'll be taking the title as it stands. Freeman, I'm not sure how much fuel Freeman has actually put in, you know. He's actually stopped on the circuit. He's had a spin again. And is he able to get back onto the track without any drama? He just needs to be careful. He doesn't rejoin into the path of the other drivers. And Godefroy will go through. Hutchison will go through. Caruana will go through. I wonder if he's picked up a punch, you know. Yeah, the hazard warning lights are on. He's not going anywhere near. I think the left rear making the car, or the right front lifting off the ground. So Freeman's just going through the gravel to stay out of everyone's way. So the attempts of making that pit stop earlier on to complete an undercut has backfired Will Freeman's race. Olka is still behind Busov as we speak. The worst case scenario for Busov, should he keep his car out of trouble now, will be 5th. Kleiber's gap over Brinkoff is 4.3 seconds. Kroos is closing in on Brinkoff. Now, Kleiber is crossing over the line. We've got 4.5 minutes remaining. And I think we've got 3 laps to go in this race. Mäkinen's closing on Verbissel in the battle for 9th place. He's not got a lot of time left, but he has got enough time given the pace we've seen from him today. And that's Chris Gedman, who's got damage to his bonnet. We see Verbissel. I think that's Joel Leho is down a lap or 2 on him. Rose and Brinkoff are still going into combat here. Holker still behind Busov in the battle for 4th. As they come up the hill. Will Freeman go to him. Struggling to keep his car on the track. in 16th place, or 17th rather now. Just want this race to be over as quickly as possible. 18th rather, because Chris Gedman has gone through ahead of him. Arsenio is still in the pits, so I think 18th is where Full Freeman's going to end up here today. His worst result before this one has been 13th at Suzuka. Leiboa is coming through. And Kroos still behind Brinkhoff. Busov is holding off Mihulka. Busov, as it stands, will be collecting 36 or 34 championship points. Freeman, by finishing 18th, collecting only 13. The gap will increase to 37 points. I think even if Busov was to have the worst weekend next week in Indianapolis, its worst result of either fourth place here, either fourth place in Mount Panorama or potentially fifth in Zandvoort, it's not going to be. Freeman's not going to be catching him in the championship race. No question. There's no doubt. Busov has this title wrapped up more or less now. Freeman is trundling around, waiting to see that checker flag. Flag goes back, gap over Kroos is 6.7 seconds, and he'll be about to start. He'll be starting the final lap now. Kroos is in front of Brinkhoff, for your information. He's through. What a race we have had here today. Action all the way through. It looked like it was going to be either Busov, Mäkinen or Godefroy potentially taking this one. And the leader has now started the final lap. Brinkhoff is trying to get through on Kroos again, but he's a bit too far back. Mihulka, can he get through on Busov this time? This is going to be his last opportunity to start in corner, but he's too far back to have a go. Stays behind for now. Might do it into like turn 9 or turn 10 perhaps. Mäkinen is closing in on Provisional at the moment. Way through just yet. One lap to go now though. I go to Mateusz Kleiboer. Who would have thought of this before the race had started? It's been a titanic scrap for the race lead, and of course for the final podium positions. Melvin Kroos doing a good job to get there in second place, but what a job Kleiboer has done. There will be an investigation, I think, involving the contact with Arkadiusz Mihulka at turn 9, but he'll take this win in a flash. Mateusz Kleiboer has got 2 more corners to get through, and he'll take the checker flag on home turf here in Zandvoort. Mateusz Kleiboer is coming around the Ari Lyondike corner for the last time. Sees the checker flag in sight. Mateusz Kleiboer can call himself a race winner in Taco Tuesday. He wins in Zandvoort in the FRL. Melvin Kroos comes home in second place, ahead of Bas Brinkhoff in third, but Nico Busov is about to come through in fourth position, which to my maths is enough to crown him the Taco Tuesday Season 11 champion in the FRL. What a job! He's finished in the top 4 in every race this season, and he takes the title with a race to spare. Arkadiusz Mihulka comes home 5th, Mateusz Dijbel safe ahead of Chris Foster, Kamil Mikowski, Juho Mäkinen got ahead of Farkel Bissell on the last lap. Godefroy, Caruana, Hudson and Sterling will be the last of those on the lead lap. Freeman in 18th position and a lap down. has had a race to forget today. He had to try something to close the gap on his championship rival, but it didn't quite pay off for him in the end. But there is your race winner. It's Matthias Kleiboer in the number 3 Audi in Zandvoort. And there is Nico Busov, who is your champion in Taco Tuesday in Season 11 in the FRL. Run down on the race result in due course once everyone has crossed over the line. And there it is. Matthias Kleiboer is your race winner ahead of Melvin Kroes and Bas Brinkhoff. It's an old Dutch podium here in Zandvoort. Nico Busov 4th, ahead of Arkadiusz Michalko in 5th. Matthias Dijbel, or Michael Kleiboer I should say. It's Michael Kleiboer I should be saying, not Matthias Kleiboer. Okay, getting mixed up with Matthias and Michael, so I can only apologise for that. It's Michael Kleiboer who has come out on top here in Zandvoort. Melvin Kroes, Bas Brinkhoff, Nico Busov, Arkadiusz Michalko, Matthias Dijbel in 6th place. Chris Foster, Cameron Makowski, Juho Makinen after his stop-and-go penalty, recovering to 9th. Farclub Abyssal in 10th, with Jeffrey Godefroy, Steve Caruana, Stuart Hudson, Ed Sterling, Sean Cole, Joel Hayer, Chris Gedman, Will Freeman in 18th position. Jack Prentice was the last of those to finish in 19th place. Mario Arsenio, Ben Milden and Mauro Bagantin were those that were so far behind but didn't actually finish the race. Ben Milden technically did, but it was so far back anyway, so I'm not sure if he'll keep the points for that. Well done to Michael Kleiboer on his first win in the pro category of Taco Tuesday, and congratulations to Nico Busov, who crowns himself as the champion in the Taco Tuesday series in the Formula Racing League with a race to spare. The last round being at Indianapolis in a week's time, so make sure you do tune in for then. Craig Law will be back in the commentary position alongside me, so we hope for a brilliant finale. Make sure you like and subscribe and check out all the championships that the Formula Racing League has to offer, and we hope for you to join in the near future. We'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll do it again in 7 days time for one last time in 2023. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.